Trump is live right now with ZELENSKY. We'll get started here. Okay, he left early. Live early and watching the Zelensky-Trump fight. Oh, they canceled the press conference? They canceled the press conference? Oh my God. Okay, well, sorry, I apologize. I didn't know they canceled the fucking press conference. And Trump actually kicked him out. I knew they fought. I didn't realize he just got kicked. Oh my God, this literally just happened. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro, what the hell? What the hell? What a crazy way to start the day. Holy moly. It's bedlam. It's bedlam. It's bedlam. It's bedlam. It's bedlam. Holy moly. What a crazy day. What a crazy day. Ah! Okay. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to set the stage for all of you. So this is supposed to be coming off the heels of weeks and weeks of Donald Trump calling Zelensky a dictator, saying he sucks, saying he ain't shit, saying Zelensky's got no bitches, constantly talking about how Zelensky's short, you know, all this stuff. Okay. He's like, you got no money, no bitches, no job prospects, and you're a dictator. That's what Donald Trump is saying over and over again. And in the process, there's also this mineral deal that's, being floated around where Trump is like, I'm going to take all your raw earth. I'm going to hit that earth raw. He just keeps saying, I'm going to hit the earth raw. I have your minerals. I'm going to take it. Okay. I'm going to take all of your minerals. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's weird because, like, we don't even know if there's a lot of minerals or whether or not they are even rare earth minerals. They're certainly raw, but I don't know if they're going to be rare earth minerals or not. Regardless, he's like, Trump is saying, like, I want the minerals because we gave you so many weapons. We gave you all of our old busted ass equipment. And that was like $300 billion. Like, it's time to pay up, which is pretty honest in terms of how American foreign policy normally works. But, like, obviously, optically speaking, probably not a very good deal. It's probably kind of a raw deal for Ukraine, but it was always slated to be a raw deal regardless. But now there's still this back and forth where there's this suspicion where Donald Trump, dials it back and says, like, no, did I call Zelensky a dictator yesterday or the other day or every single day since then? Ooh, was that me? I don't know. So, like, that's basically the last thing that happened before this Zelensky conference was supposed to happen. He linked up with Keir Starmer, also known as Keir Stalin. He talked to Macron. Macron touched him in the leg, maybe even touched his heart. He's been talking to all the European heads while constantly talking about how he's going to tariff the shit out of our European allies. But when he did the whole "did I do that" thing, I thought to myself, he's probably going to go back on this stuff. He's just playing hardball. He's going to give them more old weapons and tell them, like, they can continue fighting or whatever until they just, like, I guess, inevitably come to a ceasefire negotiation, a bargain, like, going along with the other side of the Brandonian policy. And boy, was I wrong. I didn't think that this would happen. Okay, I'll admit. A lot of you look to me and say, Hassan, you apply the scientific dialectical materialist analysis to things that are happening all around the world, and you are at least relatively knowledgeable when it comes to issues like Israel, Palestine, and seemingly this is very helpful in making accurate assessments or even sometimes predictions. But when it comes down to Donald Trump, especially in the way that he's dealt with this Zelensky stuff, it is utterly unpredictable. This is the Nixonian madman theory in action, but this time it's actually a madman. There is no IR interpretation for the way that Donald Trump operates. He has redefined the entire genre. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody can make, like, there's no realpolitik. Okay, there's no realpolitik here. There's no constructionist the way of approaching it. There's no Marxist interpretation for international relations here. It's just Trump, and he might say some shit. He might turn back on it. Let me explain to you what happened to the best of my ability, because it's virtually impossible to truly come to terms with what the fuck happened here. So after Zelensky comes over to the White House and we're like, okay, there's going to be a fucking mineral deal. Is this going to end up with more weapons for Ukraine? Or is this going to end up with, like, a finalized, ceasefire bargain or anything like that? It turns out, no. It's a secret third option that virtually no one virtually no one could have seen.
Very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something.
This isn't funny to me. I am too woke. Brother, there is virtually nothing we can do about American foreign policy decisions. It is not a democracy. Please make no mistake. There is no democratic process here. There is no morality here. I'm using this as an opportunity for everyone to recognize the reality. There is a reason why American foreign policy has left behind so many countries in rubble, which then turn those American weapons formerly used against American adversaries on America. How do you think 9/11 happened? Like, what do you think was 9/11? 9/11 is this is literally the precursory to 9/11, but this time happening in an Eastern European country, straight up. And I've been this is basically, you remember that tweet from that one journalist who was like, I've been investigating this story for years and years, and he just tweeted it. That's how I feel. That's how I feel when I watch these things unfold. Because for years and years, I have been critical of American foreign policy for being so violent and so cruel and not even caring remotely about the humanity of the people that we just use like a dish rag, only to have those people understandably develop resentment towards us or even other allies, expressions of American empire, and then eventually turn around and turn the same weapons that we gave them on us. This is exactly what happened with Operation Cyclone. There's a reason why this meme exists, you know? The whole, eventually they'll turn on you, the meme that I used on my blast off tweet as well. Okay, whether it be Manuel Noriega from U.S. Friend to Foe, whether it be Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, Muammar Gaddafi, this is how it works. This is the most consistent, most coherent American foreign policy. Do you understand? That's why I always say, hey, listen, if you're leftist, you're right, just too early. Joe Biden fucked over Ukraine. Of course Joe Biden fucked over Ukraine. Yes. And Trump is basically just full tilt, finishing the job.
Some images, how it's just
they're not going to win that stupid war. Russia's going to win. No, nobody. Only America wins in this situation.
To understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after, and you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there, and that, so they don't eat, they beat them, and they, you know, they do a lot of, you know, bad things.
By the way, I do want to mention something here, but like this is like Israel stuff that he's doing here, but these guys don't care. And the previous administration didn't care either. They just used it to, you know, keep saying, no, we're on the morally correct side here, but also give us the minerals, please. Like, that would be sick. But that's it. They didn't care either, but they at least like operated on the boundaries of caring. They didn't care, but they at least would use it as a way to explain why they were aligning with Ukraine in the way that they were aligning with Ukraine. Donald Trump, on the other hand, does not give a fuck. You could show him like open graves from Bucha, and he would just look at it and be like, I don't care. You shouldn't have had people there. You shouldn't have had people there ready to be invaded and killed. Like, he just does not care. He is an animal.
Do you have any questions, please?
Mr. President, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the, how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and.
Yeah, so the raw earth. Oh my God, why am I saying raw earth now? I love that he says it like he. Why has no one stopped him from saying this? It's now official lexicon. I'm saying it too. Oh my God. raw earth. The raw earth. Earth is raw. Anyway, he's talking about raw earth. We're going to extract the raw earth. Initially, I thought the way Donald Trump presented this, I thought that he meant, you know, he's getting 50% of their minerals, rare earth minerals, not raw earth minerals, specifically for all of the weapons that they've sent thus far. Now, it seems like it is for the additional weapons that they might send to Ukraine, except according to Caitlin Collins, who was in the room, no deal was signed. So we don't even know if that's currently on the table.
Sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil.
Yeah, I know. He ate it.
Gas,
he ate it big time.
But we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that can be unprotected. But still, it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military, and it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, and we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all.
He keeps going. He just keeps saying raw earth. Why is nobody? Okay, whatever. How are you going to even what? That's not even the most significant part of this conversation. Sorry, it's just let's just keep going. Sorry, I apologize for caring about this. It's so stupid. It's so stupid to care about this.
This is an incredible agreement for Ukraine because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have, very few people have. And we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in many locations, but that we need for our country. This allows us to do this.
But Mr. President,
in the document, there is one of the very important points. If we speak about business and investment, we never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next document, but anyway, here we see in the framework, we see a really good will for this. LNG terminal.
This is a disgrace that the U.S. is extorting an ally for its minerals while we are under attack from a brutal dictatorship. You're suggesting that Biden and Trump are essentially the same? That's a gross mischaracterization of reality. Brother, what are you talking about? Biden and his team also were quietly, read reports on this, please, from American news outlets. Biden and his team also were trying to do the same exact mineral deal. The only difference between Biden and Trump is that Trump is a fucking psycho and will actively undermine Ukraine, even though they are not only the wronged party here, but also the ally in this equation. That's the major difference. Do you still believe American foreign policy is uniparty? Yes. The broad strokes of American foreign policy is uniparty. Republicans, and this is something that I consistently explain to you guys, and I think it just gets lost in translation or something. American foreign policy is uniparty. However, Republicans are the accelerant. They come into power and they just pull it all the way. They just go crazy mode with it. The direction is still the same. Republicans just accelerate. And then Democrats, when they come into power, don't actually reverse that trajectory. There are very rare exceptions for this, but beyond the denuclearization agreement with Iran that Barack Obama put in place, or normalizing relations with Cuba that Barack Obama also did, there are very few instances where the Democratic administration, Biden's administration, that came in after, for example, Trump's administration, Biden's administration did not actually reverse the trajectory of every single thing that the Trump admin had done prior, especially as it pertains to Israel, for example. Yes, there's a big difference between trying to use a little leverage for a mineral deal, sitting down with Putin without Zelensky there. I think the goals are the same, but the method of execution matter. No, I agree with you. I don't disagree with you on that at all. I think optics when it comes to soft power and diplomacy are profoundly important. I think at the end of the day, the outcome was still the same for Ukraine. Having said that, however, the optics do matter because if America does not even care about presenting itself as a peacekeeping nation, then all of a sudden our European allies are going to look at that and go, oh my God, these guys are saying it. These guys are going to fuck us over. They've been fucking us over, as a matter of fact, People are going to catch up to that reality. This is what I've been saying since day one, since Trump took office. His mismanagement on the Ukraine side of the bargain has been ridiculous. He could have Zelensky there at the table every day of the week. He doesn't have to undermine Zelensky at all. Whatever he says goes regardless. America holds all the cards in this equation. Having said that, however, he could just as easily bring Zelensky to the table in front of Vladimir Putin. The choice not to do so is important. It is definitely different than what Biden would have done if he ever actually wanted to put forth a ceasefire negotiation. He should have, okay? That was my big problem with Biden's administration when it came to Israel and Gaza. That is exactly my big problem with the Biden administration when it came to Ukraine and Russia. A lot of people yelled at me at the time, but Ukraine had significantly more leverage in the initial phases of the invasion to actually put together a much more comprehensive and much better ceasefire proposal, and the Biden administration was not even remotely interested in it.
Yeah, we're going to be continuing.
President Zelensky, do you feel like the U.S. is on your side, that President Trump is on your side at this moment?
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question, because I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't. But,
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes.
I'm fully on his side. I don't think he said anything was wrong, but do you feel like, given how important U.S. aid is to Ukraine, Zelensky should have acted differently, glazed Trump/USA more? There is nothing. I just tweeted about this, actually. Interesting question, but there is literally nothing Zelensky can do. Nothing in this equation that will stop Trump and his admin from humiliating him. Obviously, our proxies are always powerless in these circumstances, but the decorum is totally broken. No care for diplomacy. The end of American soft power. He did. He literally glazed them. He, at 11:30, 30 minutes ago, Zelensky still posted a tweet being like, "Thank you so much, Mr. America. Thank you so much, at POTUS, for kicking me out. It is okay. We love America." Like, it does not matter. He was glazing him. He was glazing him the whole time. He was. What do you want him to do? What more can he do? He could literally get on his hands and knees and suck Trump off, and it still would not change this dynamic. Look, this is basically the proverbial getting on your hands and knees and sucking Trump off. He said, "Thank you, America. Thank you for your support. Thank you for this visit. Thank you, POTUS, Congress, and the American people. Ukraine needs just and lasting peace, and we are working exactly for that." What do you think this is? This is after he got kicked out, bro. This is after he got kicked out. This is literally a man who is on his hands and knees. The reality of the matter is the power dynamic has always been this way. The difference here is Donald Trump is not even trying to maintain any sort of optical illusion that we are here, we're in it for defending Ukraine. We're in it for helping Ukraine. We're in it to help Ukraine out in any capacity. He's just actively saying, nope, not even a little bit. No more carrots, only sticks. Understand that in terms of the power dynamic between America and Ukraine, this has always been the case. Oh my God. Breaking. NBC reports that the U.S. State Department is ending support for Ukraine's power grid restoration. It is so insane. It is so insane. This is a change in the trajectory of American foreign policy where we're not going to stop dominating the rest of the planet, obviously. But the ways in which American foreign policy is operated in perpetuity, whether it was the George W. Bush administration or the Obama administration or the Biden administration, American foreign policy has at least always had the image of helping people. America's the world police, but everyone is fine with that because they think like, yeah, you know, ultimately they have our best interest in mind. You know, we're all Western allies. We do it together. He's literally saying like, no, we've never been allies. He's dropping the pretext. No more facade. No, know your place. You are a colony. That's what he's saying. And I think this is genuinely worrisome. It's genuinely worrisome because I feel as though we're moving into the next phase of the downfall of American empire, where we will be actively and openly way more violent, way more selfish, way more ruthless. And there won't be any massaging of the truth. There won't be any optics for this. There won't be any like, this is the morally righteous position. Here is why. And do all of this like manufactured consent stuff. None of that. Just saying it's a protection racket and I want you to pay up right now. I don't care.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led?
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend from literally OAN or Newsmax or one of those outlets, by the way. Those are the journalists who are asking these questions.
This country into another war and ended foreign wars. And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. That would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
And my second question for President Zelensky. Do you ever? Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the high.
That's crazy. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend is shitting on Zelensky in the Oval Office in front of the entire press pool, and JD Vance is laughing. The American vice president is laughing about it. That's so crazy. What do you mean? Like, that's a question that like I get why it's funny to many people, but this is not the place for this. And they shouldn't be laughing. What the fuck?
Next level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do.
Like, getting humiliated like this, like being an American proxy aside, you are no longer just getting humiliated by the president. You're getting humiliated by a presidential dick rider who is like a drunk baboon whose claim to fame is fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm sorry. That is insane. There is nothing lower than this, okay? You're getting shitted on by the court jester. Like, yeah, and you can tell it's definitely inappropriate because look at Marco Rubio, okay? Look at Marco Rubio versus this clown ass. Marco Rubio is like, finally, I have secured the reins of the American State Department, and it's under this administration. You know what I mean? I worked my entire life, worked my way up, and here we are. Now I'm in an incredible position of power, and this is the administration that I'm a part of.
Yeah, have problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting.
I don't have
the
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one,
Maybe something like this.
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes,
That'd be great.
maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than yeah. Thank you.
President,
I'm looking forward to getting it done quickly, very quickly.
does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You know, you fall into the same trap like everybody else. A million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stopped shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceive.
Saying security is the least consequential aspect of Russia's invasion of Ukraine is insane. No, man, that's the whole part. That's the entire story. It's not 2%. It's 200% of the story. What are you saying? He wouldn't have to grovel on his hands and knees over here if security was not that big of a issue. Trump is just laying out openly what the relationship between America, the American master, and its foreign puppets has always been, albeit kept usually behind closed doors. No, exactly. But I think that revealing this power dynamic is scary for one reason and one reason only, from my assessment, and that is that America is moving into a new direction in terms of how it handles its foreign allegiances. America is moving in a more ruthless and more honest direction. And I think that that will make Americans in general, more violent. That will make America more violent. That will make America's allegiances harder to deal with. We're moving into the next phase of our dying empire. That is what I'm seeing. And it's a scary play. It's a scary thing to examine.
We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work. Because I'm like a president, I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken.
Trump doesn't like that. Trump does not like that. Don't talk shit on the big dog. Okay, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. He is not liking that at all. Do not bring that up. Oh my Lord!
Times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke.
No, you were the president. You were the president. You never broke to me.
Oh, that's it. Nope, it's over. Okay, that's it. That's the breaking point. He broke the ceasefire agreement while you were president. Done. It's done. All of a sudden, okay, Krasnov activation code. Suka bliat. Beep, beep, beep. That right there is the breakoff point. Because that right there reminded Donald Trump of all the times where he felt wronged by Zelensky, okay? All the times where he's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I think that if it wasn't Donald Trump, but still like a brash and bold right-wing reactionary administration, the way that they would handle this, the outcomes would still be the same in terms of like, mineral deals and bringing Russia to the table, whatever. But the ways in which Donald Trump is communicating here is unique to him because he is an incredibly narcissistic person who also happens to like authoritarian strongmen. He likes Vladimir Putin. He likes Xi Jinping personally. He likes Putin personally. He likes Kim Jong-un personally. He liked Duterte back in the day. He likes those guys. He likes Erdogan. I'm telling you right now, he likes those guys and he hates Zelensky because he feels wronged by Zelensky. And for this insane reason, he's just like, this over. I'm going to directly shit on you. He likes Modi too. Oh my God, he likes Orban. God damn, there are so many authoritarian strongmen. Holy shit. I feel like with the exception of like Western European liberal capitalist nations who Trump hates because they're an extension of the Democratic Party in his eyes, and Zelensky also fits that bill as well because, they're also an extension of the Democratic Party in his eyes. There are a lot of leaders and more leaders that Donald Trump likes. Anyway, let's continue.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods, he had conversations with our side. And we had Normandy format, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia. And he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees.
I wish Zelensky would question Trump with, then why are you giving money to Israel? Dog, do you want them to kill him? Like in the room. He's not going to say that. What are you, crazy? By the way, a big part of why this also accelerated, a big part of like America's allegiances with Ukraine kind of fell apart, even under the Brandon administration, is directly because we shifted our priority and our resources, which are at the end of the day finite, okay? It's not infinite. It's vast, but our resources are still finite. We've switched our priority to Israel.
And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous...
Yeah, I wonder why he hates Putin, man. Come on. Dude, what the fuck? Zelensky, why do you hate Putin? Why won't you align with him, you fool?
Tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years...
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Who are you? Who the hell? Who brought this man here? I don't know who this guy is. Do you guys know who this guy is? I have no idea. Who is this man? Whose mans is this? Who is this? Oh, my lolly looking ass motherfucker. Who is this guy?
In the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending.
Okay, by the way, the reason, I'm dunking on Jorkin the penis Vance over here, but, Jedediah Vance. But this would be the normal Republican way of having this conversation. And even then, it wouldn't even go this far into like dunking on Zelensky. But if you want to understand what like the normal Republican position would look like, it would be much closer to what JD Vance is saying and very far away from the way Trump is presenting it, because he, after all, is, Peter Thiel's blood boy and still is supposed to be the normalcy force in the admin.
That the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy.
But because he's still glazing Trump, he's going to still, obviously say some unhinged shit in a second.
What President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring it into the...
You should be thanking the president. God damn, dude. God damn.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is...
He's like, I'm on Reddit. He's like, excuse me, I've watched it. By the way, this is where Republicans are OP, okay? Can you imagine Kamala Harris saying some shit like this? Not about Zelensky, but like about when a person when a reporter says like, why haven't you been to the border? And she turns around and goes like, I have watched and seen stories on Instagram. They would literally make shish kebab out of her. Republicans would just destroy her. But when Republicans say it, it's like, when Republicans say it, everyone's like, hell yeah, that's pure projection of strength, sir. That's right.
Bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have
and do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
God bless.
You don't know that. Oh man, it's getting contentious.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position.
They're mad that what, like, Ukrainian soldiers could not survive getting shot or getting shelled. Like, is that what the problem is here? Like, how are you going to get mad at this dude, bro? Beyond the fact that it's pure partisanship. Ukraine backed the wrong partisan horse in this process. And for Trump, who is a simpleton, it is not seen as like a uniparty objective for the State Department and for the military industrial complex. For him, it's just like Ukraine is a libtard shit, okay? Ukraine is liberal nonsense. I don't care. And they also did not help me when I demanded that they give me blackmail on Joe Biden. So now you're cooked. I will never forgive and I will never forget. That's his assessment here. But I think that is, yeah, Kissinger quote moment, Hassam is right. Okay. What did Kissinger say? To be America's enemy can be quite dangerous, but to be America's ally is fatal. It wasn't Henry Kissinger that said that, but it's the shit that they attribute to his foreign policy. Obviously, would never. I don't think he would openly say that. Kissinger is the reason why the quote is true. I think Kurt Cobain said that. Wait, I don't know who actually said it. Under normal circumstances, this conversation would not be as contentious because the contentious moments would be behind closed doors. It would not be in front of a press pool. The major difference here is Donald Trump is actively being like, I don't give a fuck about soft power. I don't give a fuck about diplomacy. I don't even care about making it seem as though I'm in line with like Ukrainian emancipation or any of those interests. I don't care about the morality of it. I'm America. You're going to shut the fuck up and you're going to do my bidding. He thanked over and over again the Trump administration. Like, what more can he do? What more can he do?
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Oh,
Please, you think that if you will...
bro, they're going to kill him. They're going to kill him, dude. I think he's going to go back and some fucking Azov freak is just going to kill him with a black sun tattoo. And then they're going to be actively aligned with the Trump admin. I don't know how that allegiance works, but this is insane, dude. This is actually insane. They're just gonna let it happen. First of all, I need you to understand. Right now, the entire coalition forces within Ukrainian boundaries are kept together because they all want to actively fight against Russia. But it's not like these guys are all fond of one another. Zelensky is Jewish. There's a lot of fucking neo-Nazi forces out there who have gotten even more radicalized in the process, understandably, as when you get invaded, as I correctly predicted, you don't end up denazifying a country, you end up Nazifying the country. The most nationalist paramilitaries will be seen as the bravest, boldest warriors, the emancipatory forces. I'm worried that one of them is just going to fucking murk this dude. All you're doing in this circumstance by undermining Zelensky this way is making him lose his position of prominence on the Ukrainian side of politics. It's ridiculous.
Speak very loudly about the war.
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I answer?
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this.
I
You have a damn good chance of coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like.
God damn. This is crazy. This is the craziest shit. I think this might be the craziest moment of the Trump administration so far, and it will most likely be topped tomorrow or the day after. We are 1 month and 8 days in to the motherfucking Trump admin, dude. This is insane. We're not even 2 months in. This is 1 month in, dude. This is a shockingly bad display. A shockingly bad display. It is an active cuckening happening in real time.
Like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take.
Like, even if this conversation was taking place behind closed doors, where Ukraine basically got geared up with all of the European support that it got into thinking that there is like still a process where they can continue defending the existing Ukrainian territory and maybe even cut side deals with European allies to forcibly send back the Ukrainian men, like the refugees that live in Europe, in an effort to, you know, basically bring up their ranks so that they can utilize the existing weapons that are being shipped in from the pre-existing security cooperations, pre-existing weapons deals. Even if there was a back and forth for that reason, behind closed doors, the fact that this is happening in broad daylight in front of a fucking press pool, live streamed to the entire world, is legitimately shocking. Now, every single European leader, understandably, is going to come out against Donald Trump and come out in favor of Zelensky in this process. But ultimately, considering America's position as the leader of the Western coalition, the Western forces, as the hegemonic superpower, all of those leaders have actively said, we will defend Ukraine, but it doesn't really matter because if America doesn't actually follow through on security commitments, then us sending forces will not do anything. Keir Starmer has said that. I don't know if the EU in and of itself, especially when Trump is also looking to make Europe poorer with its fucking tariffs, is going to be able to have active security commitments that they follow through on with Ukraine without American military support. I don't know how Trump is going to dig himself out of this in terms of like American standing with the rest of America's vassal states in Western Europe. Like, how do you fix this?
Take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war. But
you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what
That wasn't
this
with me.
means.
That was with
you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your-
with,
this
that was
is
with
your-
a
Bro, I'm serious. I'm serious right now, straight up. If I'm a European leader, I'm learning Mandarin, okay? Straight up. as quickly as possible. Okay. Ursula von der Leyen, time to learn Chinese, buddy. Okay. Straight up. I'm learning Mandarin Peranto. Okay. It's time to go to the Chinese league. All right. The NBA is not cutting it. You're not cutting it in the NBA. I will cop to one thing. I did not think that Donald Trump would actually actively undermine NATO. And I think he is doing that. And I think he's not even doing that because he just has like a legitimate plan to dismantle NATO piece by piece. I think he's doing that because he just keeps flying off the fucking handles here. And he does not know how to behave like a normal politician. Straight up, pure ego. And also dick riders that are supposed to be the normalizing voice in the room. But even he's got the long red tie. Look at him. He looks like it looks like bring your child to work day. He just looks like a fucking fatter Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. in the room and not coked out.
President, it was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
That is 49 minutes of keynote in terms of watching America almost single-handedly over the course of like a 90-second back and forth completely change the trajectory. We have accelerated.